Sup fellow quacks? So you're probably surprised that I'm making another Toy House video. Well, it's because I actually had this idea floating in my head for a pretty long time, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it a video, but then I realized, you know what, it will make for a great video. So I figured, let's talk about it. What exactly is Toyhouse-core, and why are these types of character designs so popular on Toy House?
Good evening, Filio. Do you feel like talking about Arrtx acrylic marker 30 colors set with super vibrant ink?
Before I continue, I'd like to thank Arrtx for sponsoring this video. They sent me their 30 colors acrylic marker set, so it's on the smaller side, but despite that, there's still a pretty good amount of colors to use, and they're really vibrant and pretty, and also, as usual, they blend really well. You'll see in this video that they blend very seamlessly, and they're also extremely vibrant. They pop off the page, especially the pinks. I love the pink so much. As soon as I put down that pink, I was in love. It's such a beautiful color. Arrtx markers, as usual, great quality, great variety, nice colors. I had fun with these markers overall, so I can't wait to use them more in the future. Now, onto the video.
That is up. Make way for the Toy House. The Toyhouse Saga is back. I must stop. And listen to me. I'll keep yakking about this mid-choicy site and the stuff on there. Who doesn't love a good old Toy House? Love toying their house. Cause I drown.
So, to define Toyhouse-core, I would say that it's basically a genre of character design that's maximalist. It's a type of design inspired by popular internet aesthetics and designed to be marketable as adoptables. That's basically it. Now, technically speaking, this whole maximalist character design stuff inspired by internet aesthetics has existed for ages now. This isn't Toy House exclusive, but I mostly talk about it within the context of Toy House and its adopt culture. So let's talk about the common elements in Toyhouse-core characters. Now, this is not all the elements, but these are the ones I've noticed the most. So the number one thing I've noticed is that there are a lot of kimono mimes, and if you're wondering what a kimono mime is, it's basically just like a human with animal ears and a tail. And they're usually foxes, cats, or dogs because those are the most popular animals for these types of character designs. They also love to give these characters extremely colorful color palettes. Like, these characters are usually rainbows. They're just walking rainbows, but sometimes they will have more limited color palette based on the vibes of the design. But the thing is though, when they have limited color palettes, they look good. Like, the creators definitely know a thing true about color theory. So another thing is they love to give these characters really crazy hair accessories. You will never see a Toyhouse-core character with a bare head. They're always going to have some crazy stuff on their head to allude to whatever theme their character design is. They also sometimes tend to have stockings, like the stockings are usually striped or there's some other crazy wacky design. If I had $1 for every time I saw striped stockings, I would have a ton of money. And tails. These creators love to give these characters tails, which makes sense because, you know, if they're kimono mimes, but sometimes they'll give them tails, but they're not like animals. But we're gonna get into that later. I have a whole little mini ramble about that. They also love to give these characters lots of accessories and other elements in their tails as well. Like, the tails are just full of stuff. And I'm like, how these characters manage to live with all these little trinkets in their tails without them like flying everywhere or just staying put. So yeah, and then of course the last two are multicolored hair and heterochromia. So aside from never having a blank head, they also rarely will ever have just one single hair color. They're always going to have some sort of streak or gradient in their hair. And sometimes if the creator is feeling a bit creative, they might even add in some additional patterns. Like, for example, let's say a creator wants to give a hair streak, a few stripes, or maybe polka dots. That just adds more details to the overall design. Heterochromia. These designs love to give characters multicolored eyes. They love to give them wacky, stylized pupils and all that. Because, you know what, if we're gonna go maximalist, let's go all the way with every single element. And those are like the fundamentals of Toyhouse-core. Now, I have zeroed in on the different types of Toyhouse-core character designs and have separated them into 4 archetypes. Now, this doesn't embody everything, but this kind of generalizes what I've seen on Toy House in a nutshell. So the first I call Bloodchain McSkeleton, and these are horror-themed or very dark, sometimes punkish Toyhouse-core designs. These are the ones that usually have the white, gray, red color palettes. They also are the ones where they have the more detailed art styles, because most of the time the Toyhouse-core character designs are usually more chibi-ish or more cutesy anime stuff, you know, moe. But these designs, sometimes they might lean into the cutesier side if it's supposed to be like creepy cute, but sometimes they're just more serious looking. As a result, these are kind of like the cool ones of the Toyhouse-core designs. The rest are more cutesy. Next we have Pastel Bubble Dream Fairy Pop, and these are the ones you probably have seen the most on Toy House. These are the ones that have the bright cutesy pastel color palettes. They're very pink, they're very cutesy, very feminine, and these are the ones where you see the kimono mimis the most. Everything is very fluffy, bubbles, rainbows, clouds, sleepy type characters. Like, this is definitely like the more wholesome and soft type of the Toyhouse-core character designs. And next we have Glebe Glorb McDoodlebop, and this is basically like Kid Core or like Glebe Glorb alien type character designs. These are the ones where you see a lot of the wacky and silly Kid Core based stuff where everything is based on like nostalgic toys and all that. It's very 90s and 2000s themed. Like, I've seen a lot of characters that are based on like old toys. It's very cutesy. And with the Glebe Glorb aliens, well, they're kind of more in the realm of sci-fi, but I don't think I've seen too many Glebe Glorb alien characters that were like heavy dark sci-fi. They're usually more Uchuke sort of aesthetic going on. Now, the last one kind of feels like a fusion of Bloodchain McSkeleton and the last one mentioned. I call this one Oogity Boogity Backrooms, and this is basically like the edgier version of previous one because it has the Kid Core cutesy nostalgic elements, but then it has the dark edgy elements, and it's inspired by like the Backrooms, liminal space type stuff, you know, more weird core, dream core, and it sort of leans into the horror side of things while maintaining a nostalgic and cute sort of vibe. And those are basically the 4 archetypes of the Toyhouse-core character designs. Are there more? Probably yes, but these are the ones that I feel stick out the most. So now, let's move on to the next topic. So now I'm going to talk about why these types of designs exist and are so popular in Toy House. It's because these characters are usually made for adoptables, which is basically a character that you can buy, and since the adopt scene on Toy House is insanely oversaturated, making these designs is a great way to stand out from the crowd because, well, when you have a bunch of popular character design elements slapped onto one character design, it does help boost the visibility just a little bit, but as a result, since so many people are doing it, it kind of results in everything looking very samey. And if you go onto the popular page on Toy House, you will literally see all the examples of the archetypes that I mentioned. You'll also see that a lot of these designs look very similar to each other. They're definitely unique, but like unique in a way where they also feel similar. It's like, I don't want to say they're copycatting each other, but they're using similar elements, and as a result, they all kind of tend to look similar in a way. It's like they're not copying the same homework, but they're using the same method to get different answers. I don't know if that's a good analogy. The point is that these character designs all look samey because they're using popular character design tropes to promote their adoptables.
I have a question for God. Why?
And that's not a bad thing because selling adoptables on Toy House is really difficult. So the characters are given all these traits as a way to stand out. It boosts visibility even just a little bit, and as a result you get Toyhouse-core. And also maximalism is just more fun to look at in general because when you see a maximalist character design, you're gonna stop and look at it. You're gonna take in all the details. Simpler character designs usually don't do too well on Toy House unless the designer is extremely popular. Then they can kind of get away with literally anything. But if you're an up-and-coming designer wanting to sell your adoptables, you gotta have to go forth a lot of effort to make your design stand out, and that usually results in maximalism. That results in making your characters look very detailed. And that is where my big critique with these designs comes in. These character designs, because of how maximalist they are very detailed, and sometimes drawing those details can be difficult. Now obviously, people and their ability to draw super detailed character designs varies. Some people are capable of it and others aren't, and obviously no one is forcing these people who aren't good at drawing detailed character designs to buy these characters, but I will say there are people that might commission somebody to draw these detailed characters, and it can be difficult to translate all the elements well, because if there are so many design elements going on, it can be kind of overwhelming to draw the character in a pose that's more dynamic or complex, because how are you going to make it look good? Because if they got like 15 different hair accessories going on and you want like this really dynamic pose where they're like, I don't know, doing a backflip, how are you gonna draw that well? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good example, but the point is that these character designs sometimes feel like they're meant to kind of be seen and not used. Like they're only meant to be drawn in like a specific angle or a specific way, and if you draw them any other way, it's gonna be really difficult because there are so many details. When I usually get designs from people, I tend to simplify things, not because I hate the details, but because it makes my life easier. I just don't like drawing overly detailed character designs all the time, because when I want to draw characters doing certain things, I have to take into account how their clothes or how their accessories or hair is going to move. And if their designs are excruciatingly detailed, it's going to make you want to draw them even less. And I think a lot of people got to take into account, you know, that sort of thing. I'm not even going to get into animation because not everyone wants to animate, but most people in Toyhouse do like to draw, and drawing detailed characters can just be a hassle. Alright, so earlier I wanted to ramble about this, and it sounds so silly, but it just bothers me so much. I've seen so many character designs that look decent, you know, maximalist and all that, but then I see that they add this unnecessary type of tail. It's not like an animal tail, like a dog or a cat tail. No, it's always like a fish tail, and it pisses me off so much. I don't know why it brings like this visceral rage within me, but it's so unnecessary. I've seen it on kimono memes of like cat characters, and I'm like, why are you giving this character this type of tail? They're not a fish. Why is that even there? It doesn't make sense anatomically. It doesn't make sense visually. It ruins the vibes. It just doesn't make any sense, and I hate it so much. I'm sorry, but one thing that always pisses me off is when people add that. I see so many great designs and then they just ruin it by adding the freaking fishtail. Don't add a tail. Just don't add anything. Or if you're gonna add something, don't make it a fishtail. I'm sorry, I can't stand fishtails. They piss me off so much because they're so unnecessary and they don't look right at all. The only times they even look right are on like characters that are like, you know, sea themed, but even then they still look weird because they don't make effort to make the characters look more fish-like. So as a result, you have this humanoid character with a fishtail on their backs, and it doesn't make sense because why is there a fishtail on their back when they're like this human-looking person? I don't know. Like at the bare minimum, give them scales, give them fish ears, give them webbed fingers, feet, whatever. Do something to make them more fish-like if you're going to add fishtails. I'm sorry, this is such a weird design trope that really irritates me, and I just don't like it, and I see it so much in Toyhouse-core character designs. I just need to ramble about that. Okay, so overall, I would say that Toyhouse-core character designs are not bad. I think they're actually great. I do like them, and I follow a lot of creators that have character designs that fall under the category of Toyhouse-core. Overall, I think my biggest issues with them are just that they can be a bit overwhelming to draw, and sometimes they do feel like they're more existing for the sake of aesthetics, which isn't entirely a bad thing, but if someone goes out their way to commission or art trade with somebody and they want that character to be drawn, it can be a bit hard to draw just because of all the details, and I don't know how some people feel about omitting certain details for the sake of making it easier to draw. Aside from that, these designs are fun, and I think that if you enjoy those types of designs, then have at it, have fun, you know? There is definitely an issue with oversaturation and copycats, which does suck. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about Toyhouse-core character designs. I hope it was interesting. I know it's surprising that I made another Toyhouse Saga video, but you know what? It is what it is. I'll see you quacks later.